Wow! It's 2 minutes to late night!
What's up, Big League Jews? Welcome to Pod Minutes to Cast Night. Before we get started, we want to let you know that we are sponsored by Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab. They make unique scents and perfumes, and they made a scent for our show. I can't believe that they did that. If you would have put a gun to my head and asked me what my perfume would smell like, I would be like, I don't know, pizza rolls and duct tape. It doesn't smell like that. It smells like grease paint, black leather, and aftershave, which for some reason smells like the greatest masculine scent of all time. I can't believe it. We all actually wear it. We also have shirts for sale at terriercult.com. Go to Friends of the Cult, and there are our shirts. Terriercult.com makes dog clothing and t-shirts with dogs on them. It's, for some reason, where our merch is. Anyway, you're with the 2 Minutes Late Night Writers Room.
I'm Lucie Steiner, the kid sister of the group.
And I'm Jeremy Hammond, the older brother that never calls.
Oh, boy. And we have two special guests today from King Pizza Records and every one of the bands that's on that record label. Greg Hanson.
Yeah, I was in fourth grade, teased a lot for my last name.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, everyone asked if I was the fourth Hanson brother. And I wish I had their money.
You could tell that one day I will have diabetes because I thought you meant the soda. And fellow comedian Jake Flores.
Hello, I've been on every podcast. I'm a professional podcast guest now.
And I'm Jordan Olds. And I don't know, man. I don't have a thing. Nothing's going on. The album we did today broke my soul. But before we get into this week's album, did anybody listen to anything they liked this week?
I listened to a lot of Jeff Rosenstock.
What a shocker. A white Brooklyn comedian likes Jeff Rosenstock and is on this podcast.
Jorts. You know what I mean?
Did you listen to anything that you liked?
Yeah, I'm actually playing a show with a great band from Minneapolis tonight called Tongue Party.
Hell yeah.
They're kind of like
a great name.
Yeah, they kind of have like a really driving like Mets kind of vibe, but like heavier and thrashier and like. But yeah, just like really straightforward headbanging rock and roll shit.
Tongue Party sounds like the name of a band that would be in like a Richard Linklater movie. Like it's like it's like a dumb name, but also it's a smart name. It's like, ooh, how clever that is. It's fun. That's a movie band. Well done, Tongue Party. This week, I listened to a bunch of Rob Zombie live, and he's great when he's live. It's weird.
Did you listen to the one that's on Spotify? That one live album, the recent one?
Yeah, they did Astro Creep front to back. It's really good.
It's so good.
It's for some reason good. I listened to it. I was like, it's amazing that this is like 40 years after he it's not that long, but it's so many years after he put that album out, and they came out and they play. I just also wanted to hear John Five, who's one of my favorite guitarists, play all of those songs, and it was a delight.
I'm still so mad that we got rained out of seeing Rob Zombie.
It's gonna break my heart forever. Jeremy and I a few weeks ago were on our way to go see Rob Zombie. It was going to be my first time seeing him, and
keep in mind this was at the Jones Beach Amphitheater in Long Island, New York, which is not an easy place to get to. In fact, it's very difficult.
Yeah, we took an unreasonable amount of trains.
Yes, shouts to Robert Moses for setting it up that way. In fact,
yeah. But yeah, anyways, that was a pain in the ass. We ended up just like eating dinner in like a weird Irish bar in Long Island, afraid of racism.
Yeah, around the corner from where my ex-girlfriend lives.
I didn't know that. That's a whole different, and adds another layer of trauma to you and this whole experience.
It would be great if Jeremy was just secretly dragging Jordan to locations that were near his ex-girlfriend's house.
No, I promise. There's a concert. Rob Zombie's gonna play.
It's just a coincidence.
Let's just
I don't know. Who would play with him? Marilyn Manson? I don't know.
That does sound like a concert lineup that my mom made up.
I think a cool concert lineup would be Tongue Party and Diarrhea Planet. Just for the marquee, you know? That's all I
Tongue
got.
Diarrhea would be a very cool third band to play.
After all the letters fall off of it, it just says Tongue Diarrhea.
Tongue Diarrhea. That's what like a middle school teacher says when you're just like a kid mouthing off. You got diarrhea of the tongue. Anyway, Lucie,
You never asked me if I listened to
did
anything.
you listen to anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you listen to?
I was listening to a lot of Dusty Springfield.
Good! No, that actually fucking rules. Dusty Springfield fucking rules.
She's great.
Which album?
She doesn't look at, when you look at her face, you don't think it, but she has a very powerful voice.
I know.
Um,
She looks like she'd be like really good at baking pies, but not giving them to people. Like she's like, no, this is for myself.
oh, but at the Norwegian
Yes.
folks.
Last week on the podcast, we gave a pretty big shout out to Velotalk during the Thin Lizzy album discussion. And since neither Jeremy nor Katie had heard the band, we also thought it would be just fun to give Lucie a shot. Since Lucie has already heard Thin Lizzy before,
Yeah.
it would be
I'm very well versed in Thin Lizzy.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
know
you-
the
you had
boys are
never-
back in town, and the boys are back in town.
Wait. You had never heard Thin Lizzy?
No.
No?
No, I had never heard
Velotalk.
Feather Talk.
Velotalk.
I generally haven't heard anything that's played for this podcast, but
Yeah,
I
But
like
surely, yeah, the boys are back in town.
You've heard.
Jailbreak.
You
fun,
prob-
very fun.
It's a concept
Yeah.
album about the boys.
About the boys. There's cowboys, the boys, jailbreaking boys.
The
Lot of
boys are like Nanette in Nanette. They're referred to, but not actually ever seen.
I love that. But what'd you think of Velotalk, Lucie? It's a very strange combination of sounds.
It was really great, a lot more accessible than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
And I had a previously held conception of what that was, because I remember I used to know this bartender who was like very cool, and she had like these super long like dreads, and she like dressed in like traditional Norwegian garb and just like played Norwegian black metal, I think, at the bar all night and glared at men.
What bar was this?
this
Is insane.
What traditional Norwegian garb are we talking here?
Are we talking about like? Is she dressing like Thor, or is she
Ren,
wearing?
yes, Ren Fair.
It may have also just been like a Viking costume. I don't know what it was.
Traditional Norwegian garb.
I was like, she's either talking about how they dress in Until the Light Takes Us, or she's talking about Thor.
Look, I don't pretend to know the ways of this world.
It's gonna be Green Windbreaker.
But yeah,
But I just
so-
remember she was very cool, and she rode on roller skates everywhere, and she was very angry. But
Yeah,
so that was my
Norwegians do.
yeah.
yeah.
But
You're angry, you roller skate.
but this was a lot more like, I don't know, it was more like rocky than I thought it would be. Like it was
Yeah.
more like there were like it would be very metal sounding, but then go into like almost like a Billy Joel thing every once in a while.
Yeah. That's why they are my favorite band, is because of the combination of sounds that's in it. Is like there's a black metal singer, but he's like screaming over a Boston song, or like Steely Dan. It fucking rules. It's the coolest thing, but it's also just like it's sounds that are inspired by that type of thing, like how like major chord guitar harmony shit, but it's put together in a way that's so epic.
Yeah.
Like you want to ride a horse and drink a mimosa on a boat at the same time.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Honestly, I just want to be in the room when some record executive was like given their record, and somebody was just like, "Yeah, it's kind of like Dark Throne fronted by Boz Scaggs," and they just and they were like, "Done! Like you got it! Like,
Yeah,
like press those records, man."
Velotalk is literally they're on Roadrunner, which is the top label they could be on for what they sound like, for just like aggressive music, and they don't sing in English and they don't have clean vocals. So it's got to be the heart. So like props to them for just getting it.
Somewhere Peter Steele is like looking down, just like, "Good job, boys. Good job."
Good job, you pricks. I'm really proud of you.
All right, we should get into
Yeah, we're going to get into the... All right. So this week, because of popular demand from Jeremy's rant last week, we are doing The Stars
Powerman
Revolt.
5000, Tonight the Stars Revolt.
Tonight the Stars Revolt by Powerman 5000.
Yes,
which
this is for frequent listeners of the show. This is a stylistic departure for us because normally we listen to generally bad albums, and this week we're hurting Jeremy.
Yes, that is what's going to. That's got to be what happens. But before like we dump our opinions, Lucie, how do you think this album happened?
Well, look. First of all, I just want to say the Stars can revolt all they want, but can they maintain a functional democracy is the question once they're in power. But this album was so unoffensively boring to me. Like it was like I didn't hate it, but it was like it was just kind of much like the last album we listened to. It was just kind of there for me, and
Machine Head was the last one we listened to.
Oh yeah. Oh, with you guys. Yeah. When I was there. And I don't know. How did this get made? I think it's probably recorded in a haunted house where the monster is a frustrated 13-year-old boy.
Sounds like new metal.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I agree with that assessment. This is just a very boring album, and I don't know how much of this is me just upset that Jeremy thinks that this is good, or how much of it is this is an album from Rob Zombie's little brother. I don't know how much of this affects us, but this is, I think, the most disappointing listen we've ever had. For me, it is the most, because the second full song is When Worlds Collide, which was the one I knew. And it started, and I was like, oh my God, this fucking sucks. I was like, this is the one I knew, and I was like, I'll be able to like laugh through this one. I was like, this song is fucking awful. This isn't even like a fun, it's not even like a Limp Bizkit style fun, like where it like grooves the whole time. They shut the song off for most of the song. It's just the hi-hat and him going like that's his. It's either him the whole album is either him pretending to scream or trying to do the Marilyn Manson sexy voice that isn't sexy.
He kind of sings like he's in like a spooky musical theater thing where he's like the evil person that's like, welcome to my haunted house.
But if he was also trying to get laid, like in the play,
this is bad to you guys.
The thing that I couldn't stop thinking about when I was listening to this, because I knew like maybe 3 things about Powerman 5000, and the one main thing I knew is that he's Rob Zombie's little brother. And as I watched the music videos, it becomes very apparent that this guy grows up in some time and place where Rob Zombie is cool and well liked, and he's his little brother. He's like, I want a thing too, but he can't rip off his older brother Rob Zombie with all the spooky monster Dracula hot rod shit. So he's like, my thing will be space, but he forces the space aesthetic so hard.
You are correct, but also Rob Zombie did space shit. There's space Rob Zombie. It's fucking there's a vinyl copy of Astro Creep in my fucking apartment. This fucking about space. He has space songs.
Well, that is like what the thing that stuck out to me about this was the album cover and those like weird like at first I was like, when I was looking at those little rockets on the album cover, I was like, are there stickers on my computer screen? Like, they just look like these little uncool rockets.
Yeah, and it's got that like fake distressed look to it. Like it's got like the corner is like folded up on it. And it's like, boy, can somebody buy these guys a new album cover?
But it was also in the era where that album is not on vinyl. That was a CD.
Oh, I wonder
you
if
couldn't fucking fold a CD like that.
I wonder if this got a vinyl press. Actually, I'm
Probably
gonna
a
look at it.
re-release.
I
hope
don't think the demand is quite there.
Yeah, I
for a vinyl.
You know what
re-release.
we need?
Somewhere Newberry Comics is screaming in their head.
Well, Greg,
Yeah.
you wrote an article about how this is a good album.
Yeah, well,
Please, I didn't read it because I
that's
found out
good.
about this
That's-
today.
You shouldn't read my writing.
Yeah, you're a drummer. You can't write.
It was just like I liked it. No, I had some friends that were doing that did a podcast and website, and the most popular thing on their website was they did a series of in defense of what some deemed indefensible records, and the one that I sort of just chose because it was the only one I could think of that I was like, I like this and everyone else thinks it's total trash. And really, like, my argument is that I just think the record is fun. I think it sort of outlives the rest of the nu metal genre in that it doesn't take itself seriously. That, like, most nu metal, and I was fucking 12 to 15 when nu metal was like a thing. So I was like right in that demographic of like, I loved Korn and I loved all this stuff, and that stuff does not, I don't think, ages well at all, and even then was fairly laughable. And what I like about this is that it's like not dissimilar to White Zombie and then later Rob Zombie, that it's like they just were making like a pop record with fuzzy guitars, and like, and sort of regardless of like your take on that, at least it's not like angsty and overwrought. It's very just like space and like planets blow up and shit, and like and that's like, I think that has a staying power that like it works outside of itself, you know, a little
Because
bit.
the embarrassing thing about a lot of nu metal is how seriously they were taking themselves.
It's so like listening to Jonathan Davis cry on every Korn record is embarrassing at this point. And then, like, people listen to it now and they're like, oh, and I like fucking feel these bass sucks, but
He didn't play the bass. He
just clapped.
He like saw like Funkadelic one time, or like Bootsy Collins, but he only saw what they did with their thumb. So he's like,
he was right. He was at the very back. And so he couldn't
I mean,
hear
have
it.
I ever told you guys about the first time I saw Korn live?
No.
And how, like, because of the way that he tunes his bass so fucking low, and he, like, slaps the way he does, like, live, it literally just sounds like hitting a pickup.
It sounds like that on the record
It
too.
does not sound like, at least on the record, it sounds like you maybe pitch corrected the sound of hitting a pickup.
There's literally a video that came out within the last 10 years of Fieldy talking about playing bass.
Oh yes, I watched it.
And he's like, just pick 3 or 4 notes. It doesn't matter what they are. He literally says that, and then he's like, but it's all about the rhythm of how you play it. It's like, no, man, no, it's not.
That's amazing. But back to what you said about like, it's like them not taking it seriously. What I got from it is not that he's not taking this seriously, because this singer clearly, he's Rob Zombie's little brother, so he was like, I'm going to do what my brother.
Can we refer to him as Spider, please?
Spider Zombie.
Spider Zombie. Yeah,
Like-
he wants to be like the cool singer. You can see in,
Yeah,
in
he
all
wants to be-
4 music videos on this album
Yeah.
that he is like front and center. They put Vaseline on the lens in one of them. Like, it's got like that soft Marilyn Monroe sort of focus.
He was
to it.
looking at Mae West and was like, one day, Mae, like, I'll be.
When I listened to this, I remembered having seen the music video for one of these songs, and I had this vague, blurry image in my head of like, oh, I remember that guy with the fucking like Trigun hair and the goggles and shit. And I thought, okay, well, that was the concept for that video. And then I watched 3 more music videos, and he's the same costume and shit in every video.
It's branding.
He still dresses like that.
No.
Yeah, I looked at this guy's Wikipedia and I read it. First of all, he wrote his own Wikipedia because it is 4 sentences and it refers to him. He refers to himself like Spider One is a American singer, producer, and like director. Because apparently because he also followed in Rob's footsteps after that, and he produced like a small TV series called Death Valley that got canceled immediately.
Fred Durst did the same thing. He's like his if you look at his Twitter or whatever, it's like director Fred Durst or whatever. He's like somehow trying to play it off as like this is my actual artistic endeavor.
He made Fred Durst. I've never seen them, but he made 2 movies. He didn't try to make a TV show a little bit.
I will say, and this is like some weird thing, but like when I lived in LA for a couple months, I worked at FearNet, and he was like there.
Spider or Fred?
Spider.
Was he in the costume?
What?
Was he in the costume?
I mean, ish. He still looks the same. Like, you know who he is. But he was their, like, on-air personality. So, like, when people they would do red carpet coverage, Spider was the guy that they would send out to do
my God.
interviews.
So he's like their Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah. And
That
he
makes
looks
a lot
like
of
Ryan
sense.
Seacrest. But, like, you know.
But like a candle version of Ryan Seacrest.
I think all of this is just pointing to my theory, which is that Rob Zombie was a shitty older brother.
Literally, Spider is the biggest inspiration for why I wanted to do Cannibal Corey. It's because I was like, I want a shitty little brother that's just doing exactly what the older brother's doing.
Okay, I got one.
It's Cannibal Corey the Record is what this is.
So at its best, like if he was an artistic visionary, he could have sort of went down the avenue of being like a Big Black or like a 9 Inch Nails or something, or like, you know, being somebody who's like, oh, we're going to take rock music into this multimedia.
Wait,
sort
Spider
of
or Rob Zombie?
Well, Spider, if he was like following Rob Zombie correctly, because that's
Yeah.
sort of what Rob Zombie was doing, right? But what Spider is somebody who likes something and then sort of had like the rich kid Rebecca Black treatment, where you go, okay, if I have enough money, I can go get into a studio and I tell somebody what my idea for what I want this to sound like is, and they just fucking jam it through and produce it.
Yes.
So like this is his like Friday.
That is exactly what this is.
I have evidence.
Yeah.
Evidence in support of this theory is that this was put out on DreamWorks Records, the same people who brought us Shrek.
Sick. Sick.
It was put out by DreamWorks Records, and it's one of the first things they ever put out. This is very early on. Just in case you were thinking to yourself, like, oh, maybe DreamWorks was like a more metal-focused sort of a thing. No, the first couple things they put out were George Michael,
Sick.
The Eels, and the Rent soundtrack.
Yeah, I love that album.
I love George Michael and the Eel. So here's the thing: by political science, I should love this album. I don't know.
Are there people? Are there like maybe like younger people who like really are there people who are really into this guy?
No.
No. Okay.
No,
Like,
new metal really did live and die in the like.
This is
They put out an album last year though.
Oh, I mean, lots of bands keep putting out records.
But how and why? The thing that I kept wondering about when I was looking at their like discography, because I was like, oh my god, they've made one every few years. Right?
Jimmy Eat World is still making records.
But I know people that actually listen to that shit. I'm wondering, are they huge in some fucking country we don't know about or something? Because that happens.
Oh my god!
Oh, probably.
Well, some
There's an undiscovered country somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic.
Yeah.
I mean, somewhere we don't know that they're really
I
into
think it's
like.
the
Right.
middle of the country.
Like,
I think
yeah,
I
could
went
be
to. I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we played at a very small venue. And just up the street was a huge show where like people were like showing up in like like they looked like they were going to Rocky Horror, and it was like Coal Chamber. And like it was like
nice.
It was like 5 or 6 bands that like 36 Crazy Fists. It was just like this like it was this bananas lineup of like bands that have not been relevant or I thought touring since like 2000 and people and that was like the thing to do that night. And so it's like I think there's a staying power for like angry teenager music in places where it's like the internet reception isn't so good.
I think so.
I also saw on their Wikipedia that Powerman 5000's When Worlds Collide has been featured on like 7 recent wrestling games.
This is also new metal has been adopted by sporting events in a huge way. If you go to any Islanders game, it's like it's like Limp Bizkit and like that type stuff. Just the super crunchy, super like dun dun. like that kind of sound effect.
Like a simple guitar chug and an 808.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense because like a lot of the music that I listen to, and I think that like people that are into music listen to is all sort of DIY now, or out of like these tiny burger recordsy sort of situations.
That doesn't work so well at sporting events,
right?
They're not like.
How many soccer games have you tried to get music in, Greg?
Yeah, I keep calling.
but like the bands that are like, there's this sort of dinosaur like leftover music industry complex that's still in place, and it just has old weird shitty bands like this laying around in it that still have contracts and stuff, and those are the people that sell music to things like fucking stadiums and shit like that.
Yeah, that's true.
So let me make an argument. Just as something to give you some context as to why I like this. Do you want me to hold? Okay.
Yeah, hold for just a sec. Lucie, like, do you notice if there's a difference between, like, Limp Bizkit and Marilyn Manson? Do you notice a difference between those two things?
Oh, yeah, totally. Because, like, only one of those people debated Bill O'Reilly. I know Marilyn Manson as the guy who I was like, oh, he's weirdly articulate.
Yeah.
It would be so awesome if Spider-1 debated Bill O'Reilly.
Oh, my God.
That'd be sick.
Point 1, space. Is it cool?
Point 2, are you ready to go?
Point 3, my brother is a dick. Why won't he let me in his band?
This is what it's like when worlds collide. I'm Bill O'Reilly. We'll be right back.
But yeah, no, Greg, all right, yeah.
Okay, so one of the things that I honestly think about this, I really see the through line from like 1984 era Van Halen to this. I think this is
What?
I think this is
What is happening?
What?
I think this is
I'm not on his team.
I think this is like pop metal. I think that it's like and I mean like not in terms of aesthetic, but I'm just in terms of like they're like okay, he's like I want to do like fun, upbeat, major chord, heavy rock and roll. But like that's really just a pop song and a reason, and like the difference is like space versus like getting Roadhead,
Right.
Like
I would give you that point if number one stuff was written in a major chord on this. It isn't. For the most part, like Reddit, it's like
Supernova goes pop and Worlds Collide. Are they not?
No, those are minor.
Oh, okay.
Those are minor chords.
Yeah, definitely.
Those are minor chords.
I'm a drummer.
Also, I would give it to you. The drums are poppy because they're ripping off Rob Zombie, who's using fucking disco beats.
Yeah.
But that's the other point is I would give you every single thing that you said if literally every other band in this genre did not already exist.
Oh, I'm not saying that I'm not
In
saying,
a vacuum, you're right.
Yeah, and I'm not
No,
saying, and I'm not
and in the real.
I am not saying that they were at all groundbreaking or even again like that this was particularly effective in terms of the musicality, but the fact that they again didn't take themselves seriously, I think makes it stand out, and the sort of like low key sort of party like vibes of the record make it work in a way that like again the Limp Bizkits are so angry and so sort of misogynistic, and
you know
like,
what it is?
Korn is so angsty, like
Yes.
I have
Okay.
a
Compared to
metaphor.
those, yes.
I have a metaphor. It's like if nu metal is Sting, like the wrestler Sting, during like the NWO era, where he's like up in the rafters with the baseball bat
I'm
and all
into
that
this.
sort of shit.
I just found out that was a thing.
How fucking funny, right?
That is so.
It's so funny.
That is so funny. For a year, apparently Sting just was in the roof.
Yeah. They would
Instead
like
of
zoom
wrestling.
up to him, and he'd be like holding his baseball bat and looking like the Crow, and then they would like.
but
zoom
he'd
out
be
away
in a
from him.
chair.
Yeah.
He was in a chair on the roof, and they were like, "Just be there for 3 hours."
Anyways, so it's like if all of wrestling was Sting, and then like one person showed up and was Doink the Clown.
Sort of,
or
I think it
Cactus
would be.
Jack. I mean,
Or
that was
Cactus.
like-
Yeah. Oh, that's an even
No.
better one. That's even better. That's like going from Mankind to he was Cactus Jack.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
No, because they were all of 3 of the Cactus Jacks were great. Like that's
Or
like
Dude Love.
Do love, yeah.
like
yeah.
no, even they loved him too. Apparently, all
Well,
of
but I
them
mean,
are
like, it's like if nu metal is Mankind, then Powerman is Dude Love.
Powerman is no, because Powerman has to be something that just completely didn't work, but is trying to
but it's the same
it
guy,
was-
but it's just funnier.
Oh no, it's that wrestler. It's that.
I'm
It's
picking
the
up what
same
you're
guy,
putting
just a
down.
different costume, and the costume's more fun.
No, I think it's there was a wrestler.
I'm here for you. This is why he was saying we're going to be two peas in
Okay.
a podcast.
No, there's a wrestler that came out and was supposed to be intense and brooding, but his gimmick was he's Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat, and everyone was like, that guy's just Sub-Zero, and they're like, what are you talking about? No, he isn't.
So it is Sting.
Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat.
So it is Sting. He's supposed to be brooding and scary, but he's actually the Crow
No,
from the
it's
movie The Crow.
Sub-Zero guy though. Oh, you're right. Yeah,
Although
it is
later
Sting.
he did Heath Ledger Joker,
Oh,
and
no.
that's also very funny.
Rob Zombie is the Undertaker, and fucking Powerman 5000 is
Paul
Sting,
Bear.
where he's just Sting versus the Crow.
I was really hoping you were going to say Paul Bear.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, I forgot about that guy. Yes.
I mean,
Like,
we're
I
all
think
saying
it's
the
just- I
same
want
thing.
Yeah, to concede your point, like Powerman 5000 has always been somewhat of like a cash grab band. Like before this record, they were like a rap metal, like the like Super Kung Fu Radio or whatever, Mega Kung Fu Radio. They were like he was like rapping poorly, and like at the age when I liked Powerman 5000, I found that CD and was like, whoa! And then I listened to it, I was like, whoa! I was like, this
Same
really
thing with
doesn't
Kid
work.
Rock. When Kid Rock first came out, and American, not American Badass. What is the first?
first
album
record?
called?
I don't know.
The one with the middle
I-
finger and the ball with the ball.
I have no idea.
You listen to you listen to before that, and he had that album like Grit Sandwiches for Breakfast.
Oh,
And
no.
it's just him doing just like Beastie Boys esque shit.
But
And now he's gonna be our king.
There's old,
yes, he will be. He is about to be our king. You are right.
Our boy king.
Our boy, our kid king.
There's old videos of him battle rapping against like a young Marshall Mathers and shit.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
mean, they're both Detroit.
Yeah,
like-
if you look up,
Oh my
like,
God.
there was this like event called like Scribble Jam. It was like a big battle rap, like tiered competition.
somewhere Ted
thing.
Nugent's in the background, just like yes.
yeah.
I have a question. When was the last time anyone saw Kid Rock without a fedora on? I'm wondering if he's doing a Bret Michaels thing where it's not all that he's just
He's
doing a
bald.
bandana. He's just wearing a fedora. He's just glued a fedora to his head forever.
There's a small axe just stuck in his head. He doesn't want anyone to know
That
about.
was from ICP.
Yeah.
yeah, he got a hatchet
But-
in the end.
With this record, I don't think that your statement of they don't take themselves seriously is correct. I think that they are ripping off Rob Zombie and they're trying to be kitschy, but they take this band. He's like,
I think he
I'm
takes
gonna
the
be
band seriously. But like when I say a band that's not taking themselves seriously, it's like Ween didn't take themselves seriously, but they also like made fucking 11 records or something like that. It's like you can't be a major label band and not take the band seriously. But I'm saying like a band with a sense of humor, a band that's singing about space in an era where everyone is like corn. Like I mean, like
Yeah,
you know,
you're right.
it's like that. I think that stands out in that you know, they're like we can do this like super punchy rock and roll thing without being sort of overtly and overly like emotional, and I think that for me is what works because you know, and and also like the When Worlds Collide video is like he's like fighting a dude with long fingernails with a
like it a
laser
lot.
ring. Like you
Yeah.
can't say that that's
like,
like
uh,
There is
Fidel
like
that shit.
tongue in cheek.
Can we take a pause
Wait.
and watch this music video real quick?
Oh yes,
Sure.
Yes, we certainly fucking.
But
can.
also, Greg might have to leave in a few
I
minutes.
do have to leave in a few
Okay.
minutes, even though I
Well-
love this.
Okay, well, I want to final thing before we leave. I think what you think is them not taking themselves seriously and having fun is I think that Rob Zombie is doing that. I think that Spider thinks that this is what his life is going to be and like is taking it serious. It's like Spider has the mentality of Danzig without the actual artistry of Danzig. Like Danzig thinks that like Misfit songs are about something. I think that Spider genuinely thinks that he is fucking writing edgy, nihilistic shit.
Well, if we
sci-fi crap.
If we go by your original theory that he writes his own Wikipedia page, then the Wikipedia page for When Worlds Collide has a couple of sentences written on it about how this is about like class structure.
Yes, it is. That's the thing is I read that and I was like, oh no. They're not having fun. They think that this is cool. He grew up. This is what happens when you grow up with Rob Zombies.
This is what happens when worlds collide.
Not worlds collide. It's just nothing's colliding. It's just that his brother is older than him and weird and got successful, and so he thinks that this is what the Earth is. And he's colliding with the real world, and it doesn't work, and it's weird.
They're the stars, and they're revolting. Is what he's saying.
I thought When Worlds Collide was about two kids who fall in love in a cancer ward.
Yeah, they're like, are you ready to go? Let's go.
All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch. I heard fingernails. We're gonna watch this fucking When Worlds Collide video. I didn't want to. Now I do.
Oh, it's great. It's fun.
It's a very good video.
It's a great video. And I don't know. I mean, like, again, like, I also have done no research on this. This is based on a 14-year-old's listening that I then updated with, like, a 27-year-old's listening of the record.
Yeah.
With, you know, and knowing that, like, he goes on to, like, he hosts segments for a horror channel. It's like dude just likes horror movies. You know what I mean? That's like
I don't think he got paid for that. I think he just wanted to be
doesn't every younger brother who likes horror movies basically just want to be like, I want to play in a rock and roll band where we just like sing about space and shit. Like I don't know. And then he like writes a song that's like a 50s ballad. That's cool. That song's great. That's like the last song. That's a great tune.
Oh, the little jazz number.
Yeah,
at the end?
Oh God!
But did you stick around for the secret?
Oh yeah,
I did not.
For the
where
secret
he just
song.
turns on Fruity Loops for like 20 seconds, hits the laser beam button a few times.
That's what I mean. It's like stuff like that though. That like kind of does say it's like, you know, these guys were just like they were digging around a little bit in the studio. And then some executive was just like, you got the goods. Like
I didn't see that. I heard it and he was like, I don't know what kind of sounds does my brother use. I guess that's one of them, right? Can we? Yeah, just none of. I remember, like, after I listened to this, I listened to Astro Creep.
if you're gonna compare it to White Zombie, it's gonna lose.
It's gonna lose.
Like that's like being like that's like watching Battle Beyond the Stars and be like, is it Star Wars? And just like, no, it was never gonna be. It's like a B. This is the B movie White Zombie. Like,
but Rob Zombie's already a B movie.
Right, so it's a C. So it's the C movie.
So this is the Rocky Horror.
This
is the Rocky Horror.
Exactly. Yeah, like
coming back around.
No,
this is
it's
Rocky
not
Horror
Rocky
Picture
Horror.
Show because Rocky Horror Picture Show is a major. It's a bigger motion picture that's based on and aping the style of B movies.
No,
this is Rocky Horror. I'm
disagree.
with it.
We're here.
No,
This is where we cut.
Rob Zombie is a good B. Rob Zombie is like Miami Connection, and this is a drunk person dressed as a vampire in Halloween, Instagram storying, and they drop their phone in the toilet.
That also sounds good. That also sounds good. Like that's like what's funny though is that like if you like White Zombie, like in my mind it's like why wouldn't you want more like White Zombie? You know what I mean? It's like this is like yeah, it's like it's not as good, but it's like it's sort of like it's close enough, you know. It's like there wasn't that many bands that like did White Zombie. Like there was like kind of Ministry, you know what I mean? But like
yeah.
it's like in some ways it's like there was only like 5 records, you know. It's like this is the 6th. Like
I
it's
know,
a little gift. It's a little gift for you.
Yeah, it's like someone telling me, well, yeah, it's kind of the same thing. You're the record label. It's also White Zombie. But it isn't because all the sounds are really unpleasant the whole time. Like his voice is really unpleasant to me. It's just, and then when he screams, he's not screaming.
Wait, can I say something about his voice?
Yeah.
I realized on the way over here that the way his voice goes and the way that kind of like the vibe of the whole sound of the band is like this is what I imagine would have been like if Britney Spears was a man and made Toxic, and then made the whole album Toxic.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Dude, I thought the same thing. I thought about Toxic.
Toxic is amazing. Don't
so
do
weird.
this to You're ruining Toxic and White Zombie for me. Lucy, what did you think of the music video?
That was crazy. That was like, it was like Little Monsters meets the music video for She's So High. But there was so much going on in there. And there was one part where there's this like crazy transition that just facilitates an outfit change for him. Like he just goes from red to silver and that's it. And the rest of the time he's like dressed like he's about to do a motorcycle race in Japan.
You're correct.
I will say, crossover listeners between Pod Minutes Cast Night and Ballin' Out Super will know that there is a rule on our podcast that a good episode of Dragon Ball Z has minimum 2 beams in it. I counted 5 beams in this video. Good video.
Yeah, he also had Super Saiyan Vegeta hair.
Yeah,
It all makes sense. Now, your whole thing is it's becoming very obvious now. You like this because it's Dragon Ball Z the band.
Yeah.
It does kind of sound like the old Rock the Dragon song.
Oh my god!
After seeing that video, my opinion changed a little bit.
For the worse.
No, I do clearly see now, based on his performance and the fact that it just looked like season 1 of Buffy, that it clearly has like a sense of humor that I didn't really get initially. So I get it. I get that more. I'm like, okay. I expected him to think that he was really cool in the video, but he's just kind of making faces and being weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little
He
sketchy.
knows he's attractive.
Yeah.
He definitely
He
knows
knows
he's a
he's-
hot guy.
But he's also just like, he's like, fucking whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to do a Kamehameha in my goddamn music video.
He did do that, and I was like, hell yeah. And the bad guy in that video was amazing. I
Whoever
loved him.
that actor is.
Better than every Hellraiser movie. That guy, that guy was a fucking star.
He looked like
I loved
a
him.
Guardians of the Galaxy villain or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 villain we were going to get before the fight James Gunn.
You know what he looks like is in the first Power Rangers movie when they break the glass tube and you meet like human Zordon.
Yeah.
I forgot that there was a human Zordon.
Yeah, and he was really sad and like wearing rags, and you were like, you live in like a high-tech palace. Surely you should have better clothes than this.
I liked you better when you were a jellyfish that looked like my grandpa. I don't know. Did this change your opinion of the band at all, Lucy?
It definitely made it more fun, and I definitely regret us all killing Greg for defending it.
Yeah.
It definitely does. It does give it a little context. It gives it like to see this very like unintimidating young piece of ass just shaking it.
It's just like, I'm in a silly band. But here's the thing. That you don't get that context from the album alone, so I still think that that this is a ill-advised, this shouldn't have happened probably, because Dragula's also a really goofy video.
It's very fun.
Yeah, I just think that there's that this is. I can't not get angry about. I don't know what just upsets me about people just trying to capitalize on things that already exist.
Well, but doesn't it almost, now that you've seen the silliness of the video and now that we're thinking about the silliness of Dragula, isn't it almost cute in a way now that you think about it, that it's almost like, oh, they're brothers. They like the same stuff. They grew up together. Like, of course they like the same kind of movies.
Yeah, no,
You know what I
get that,
mean? Like,
and
isn't
there's
it
a
almost
reason.
sweet now?
He's like a
The one-
spin-off band.
Well, the what? Yeah, a spin-off band.
He's new
for
metal
a band
Scrappy
he
Doo.
wasn't in.
Yeah, he's Scrappy Doo. He's got that weird quality of where you're like, it's not a Scooby, but I'm sorry sitting here.
I'll take it.
It's kind of working all the points through that make me enjoy
No, that's
Scooby-Doo.
a side project. Is Scrappy Doo?
No, Scrappy was on the show.
Yeah, I know, but a side project is like a band that was in a guy is in a band and he starts a new band.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, he was never in the original band. Fucking, he started this band after Rob Zombie's solo record came out. Like he already had like 4 hit records in a row.
Yeah.
Just slaying it. And he's like, and now me. And now it's my
And
turn.
now Spider One.
And now Spider One. Ooh, but I'm in space though. But like, yeah, it's like
And good on him too for being smart enough not to hide those attractive zombie faces under all that fucking corpse makeup.
and the beard.
Rob
Right.
Zombie always looks like Alan Moore to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, Alan Moore, if he like, had all of his cartilage still.
Yeah.
It's
If
like how
Alan
Alan
Moore
Moore
did
would have drawn
Pilates.
himself in the Swamp Thing.
Look how hot I am. Look at my tiny waist.
And now a capitalist comes to talk to me and I tell him off.
we did Alan Moore. We didn't do British accents. What's wrong with us? And now here I am, drawing it with a tiny waist.
Yeah, where is he from? What part of England?
I know, probably this one.
He's a
Probably
lofty.
this one. He's probably like an old man.
Oh, and then a Tory comes and I
No, he's
tell him
not
off.
Cockney at all.
Let me try an impression.
Yeah.
Oh, governor, put another shrimp on the barbie.
Nice.
Exactly. I love that comic.
Dead on.
So should we try to? I mean, I guess we've kind of wrapped up in a very convenient way, saying something nice about this.
Well,
Yeah.
Do you have anything else nice to say?
There's on like the fourth song or whatever, there's like a riff that I was like, this is not a bad riff. Or I think on Tonight, the Stars Revolt, the song.
Oh, yeah.
Or it had like a well placed low note to bendy business, and I was like, this is some good business. And then I was like, the rest of this is not. And then I thought I heard a good vocal in there for a minute. I was like, oh, okay, look, he can scream. And then I was like, oh, no, that's Rob Zombie on the song.
Yeah, Rob Zombie's on a song. The DJ from Limp Bizkit is on a song.
Yeah, DJ Lethal's on.
DJ Lethal's
Yeah,
on the
Blast
song.
Off to Nowhere has. Oh boy.
And there's somebody else funny on this too. I can't remember.
Oh, I can't believe we haven't talked about the Mark Hamill intro.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
The
right.
Oh, that was
weird.
Mark Hamill?
It sounded like Mark Hamill. I thought it was Mark Hamill.
I don't
It
think
is not Mark Hamill.
Yeah, it's not Mark Hamill.
We were talking earlier. You were like,
I took it at face value.
You were like-
you just made that joke, and I was like, oh, that's sick.
I was like, here's the thing. If it was Mark Hamill in 1999, it wouldn't have been sick. Like, this is right after Batman the Animated Series gets canceled, and he's in a Kevin Smith movie playing a dick parody of him. He's literally the penis parody of himself.
It would
And
be.
he's literally like, yeah, he gets his penis hitting hand off and he goes, not again. That's the era Mark Hamill we're talking about. We're not talking about like even Batman video game revival.
I heard this story about Mark Hamill.
Yes.
During a certain time, like he's recently come back and now he's doing the Star Wars movies again or whatever, but there was a long time a friend of mine worked in the same office building as him where he would do voiceovers, and it was post Star Wars, and it was while he was doing all the Joker stuff, like the animated series Joker shit.
Yeah.
And he like hated when people would ask him about the Star Wars shit. He was just done with it. And he said
Yeah.
that people would find out where he works, show up, and then like try to go up to his office, and he would go out onto the side of like his, he'd climb out his window again, like the ledge, just to hide from these people that were like coming to his office to ask him about fucking Star Wars and shit. And in order to like get out of that and sort of like still be able to act and stuff, he really liked playing the fucking Joker, and not the cool Heath Ledger crazy Joker, the hey Batsy, like the weird cartoon Joker, right? So imagine.
operator. He's the best.
It would be cool if Spider-1 is making this album and he's like, I want to make this concept sort of spacey, like weird, new wavy sort of thing. And, can you please do the intro on the album? But Mark Hamill responds and only intros the song as the Joker, like from the animated series.
Hello, you're about to hear some space shit.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
and how
That'd be fucking sick.
we're going to talk about aliens, some other things. So I don't know. Moon boogers. Please welcome the next song. It's called Star Handshake.
That'd fucking rule.
It'd be the best. I would love that if that's what it was. Also, the best thing Mark Hamill has ever done is played the cartoon Joker.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's better. I'm just not really a Star Wars guy, and I like a weird British Joker. Like, why is he British? Who knows?
Why is he British?
Who knows? Yeah,
Doesn't make
all of a
any
sudden, like,
sense.
Hello, governor.
It doesn't make any sense with his origin story as being like a fucking comedian that fell into a pit of goo
Yeah.
in New York. He was one of those weird British comedians you see around New York. That's is going to college here or
Who's
whatever.
swiping?
He was actually the Ricky Gervais of his time.
Look at my man up front. He laughing. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God.
Can you handle it, Batman? Is this offending your sensibilities, Batman?
Ooh, bats don't want to laugh because his girl here.
it'd be so funny.
I tried a new thing during sex the other night. I don't know if it's for me. You guys ever hear this thing about sucking a dick for $1 million?
We should move on.
Yeah, we should.
Should we
I
talk
love
about
this
this the Cars cover?
Oh God!
Oh, we didn't even talk
There
about
is
the
no
Cars
defense
cover.
of the Cars cover. We brought up DJ Lethal, and he's on the Cars cover.
Yeah. No, I have no defense of that because the thing is, this is what I realized when I was listening back to this for the podcast is when I remember Tonight the Stars Revolt, I remember side A of Tonight the Stars Revolt. I do not remember that whole just arduous second half that just like screams the label wouldn't let us do an EP.
Yeah, that's really what. That's like why when I was going through this, I was like, this is the hardest second half of an album we've ever
Yeah.
done because there's no ideas. He was like, let's get my brother on here, and then the only breath of fresh air is literally Rob Zombie screaming in a way that Rob Zombie has never really done.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'm here, I'll help, and then goes away. It's also been so weird to do an entire podcast where I'm talking about Rob Zombie as if he made Station to Station.
Yeah.
Like, as if he's just like this amazing artist. Like, I'm talking about Rob Zombie as if he's Mark Boland. I love him, and he's great, and he did invent a style of music, but he's just having fun.
He's still Rob
And goofy.
Zombie. Yeah.
I understand.
He's Rob Zombie. It's like, yeah, his song is about the Munsters. His most famous song is about the movie The Munsters and the car they drove in it. And he's talking about fucking in it.
It's about doing hand stuff in the Flintstones car where you have to use your feet to
Right
drive
before
it.
they put the meat on the side and it falls over. Favorite songs? I guess Blast Off to Nowhere, because Rob Zombie's on that one, and that's the part where I was like, oh, look at the vocals. Okay. Blast Off to Nowhere. I guess. Well, I wanted it to be, I was prepared to be like, When Worlds Collide, and then I listened to When Worlds Collide, and the only part I kind of like is 4 seconds of the chorus. The end of the chorus sucks when he's like, I didn't, they had something with like the, oh, you ready to go, but the end of it is like the, time! What the fuck? He's just like a weird, just like your dad having a good time. Like, oh, hey, that was a good joke. Good job. And it's not a way that's not singing. It was weird.
Yeah. Jake, favorite song?
It was When Worlds Collide, but it was not for any like heady intellectual reason. It was specifically from just like a Pavlovian conditioning with playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and having it just grounded in my head. I was riding my bike listening to it on the way over here, and it made me like start to think like, could I jump on top of that building right now? I bet I could. That's it.
Lucy?
I'm gonna go with When Worlds Collide too. Partially, the music video put me over the edge with it.
Oh, yeah.
I really like the music video. That little boy looks like every pop boy wonder of the 90s, and it was adorable.
And I'm going to go with Nobody's Real. I think aside from that weird, stupid robot, like, deep doop, like, beginning, it's a really catchy, fun song with, like, a good, it's good. But also, the whole album, suck it.
No, you already admit it. Don't just do an ending edgelord. You already admitted the second half is unlistenable anyway.
Okay, side A. Side A of this, which, by the way, I did Google it. It did not get a vinyl release, not even a repress.
Shit.
Okay, yeah. So do you want to do? Did we get a metal mansplain? We're recording this so soon after we dropped the other episode, so I don't think we have many, but we're gonna try. Damn it.
Yeah. So last week, Lucie asked metal fans, "What are you afraid of?" And Kevin O on Twitter says, "I'm afraid of Boogie Nights, the concept, not the movie."
That's also probably a Powerman 5000 song.
What?
Boogie Night, but like Boogeyman, I don't know. Whatever.
Leave me alone.
Boogeyman Nights by Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say Boogie Nights the concept, not the movie. Sounds like it would be like a Fall Out Boy song, like the whole thing all together.
Yeah, in that era of like pop punk emo, where
you named it after like
It's got
everything.
9 words in it.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's good.
Yeah. Or just like they were naming their songs after like movies that won an Oscar that they didn't watch. Like that you didn't like they like I'm pretty sure like tons of drive-through records bands were just like songs called Steel Magnolias and they didn't watch the movie. They just thought it sounded cool.
I love you, but my Tommy gun don't. It's a brand new song.
Probably that reference is one of the least upsetting things about brand new.
Oh, right.
All right. Do you have a new metal mansplain for this week?
Hey, metal fans, I'm Lucie Steiner, and I have a question for you. If Dave Mustaine had a little brother, what would his song sound like?
Write in #metalmansplain. Let us know.
It's really hard to not just immediately come up with names for Dave Mustaine's little brother.
Right? Joey Mustaine.
Louis Mustaine. Take Louis to the arcade, David.
I don't wanna, I'm drunk.
Oh, but your little brother wants to spend time with you. What do you mean he wants to spend time with me?
Oh my God.
All right.
I want to meet Dave Mustaine's mom so badly. I want to know what she was like. A whole documentary, please.
God.
A whole series. The Making the Murderer people are not doing anything right now after lying to everybody, so they should make a Dave Mustaine's mom documentary. All right, so that's it. We listened to Powerman 5000. You're fucking welcome. Plugs, everybody. Lucie?
You can follow me on Twitter at the Steinbag, and you can see me with these guys at the live podcast.
You find me on Twitter at Jeremy Thunder. Check out my other podcast, Ballin' Out Super, and have yourself a lovely little evening.
Yeah.
The thing I love about comedy is not knowing how to end a sentence. I have to do that all the time. I'm just like, well, this happened. And then it's over.
Howdy do.
I'm at Feral Jokes on all social media and shit, and Venmo if you want to send me some money. It's an anagram for my name, Feral like an animal, joke like a joke, and then an S. You can find me basically everywhere. I'm all over the fucking internet. I have a podcast called Pod Damn America that Jeremy is on quite a bit. It's like leftist politics and stuff. I have
what a shocker.
Yeah. A lot of black denim going around that room. I have another one called Mr. Cleo where I get drunk and read tarot cards. I write and shit, and I do a lot of stand-up. I'll be going on tour soon. I don't have anything announced, but I pin all my dates to my pinned tweet on Twitter. That's the best way to find out if I'm playing anywhere near you or here in New York. Other than that, check my website. I'll put up stuff there sometimes. All right, that's it.
That was the most genuine and probably informative plug anyone has ever left on here. Everyone's just like, yeah, follow me on Twitter, suck my ass. How about you fucking bite me? How about that? At eat my eyeballs, you pieces of shit. All right, but yeah, follow me on Twitter at Mr. Jordan Olds. Follow my dog on Instagram at Great Hambino. And what do you mean that's the end of the plugs? All right. Bye.
Bye. I have Drew texted me before we started recording. and he requested, he said, Jeremy, I can't be there tonight, so I need you to sing this for me. And it is, Powerman, Powerman, does whatever his brother can. Megaphone, blonde hair dye. This is what happens when worlds collide. Look out. Here comes the Powerman. Pretty good.
That was very good. Well done, Drew. We miss you very much. I hope you recover from your taco belly.